thereafter people have questions. So basically, interview is a informal conversation, but it has an aim, and the aim is to extract information. In our case, what are we looking for? We are looking for 15 OAQs. So the GTO looks for that, the site looks for that, and so does the interviewing officer. Every job has a different requirement, but whatever we apply
Please
for,
note down. ये शक्ल देखने के लिए कोई पिक्चर हॉल में नहीं बैठे आप
we
लोग.
apply for a job, we submit what is called a CV. What is CV? It's a biodata. So in that you give your basic details about yourself, about your family, about your education, about the type of job, experience, all those things. Same way, the CV of the SSB is called PIQ, or the Personal Information Question. This is nothing. It has your details of your parents, your address, about your activities you participated, about your marks, about your family. So these details are there in the PIQ. Now it is very important that you fill this PIQ very carefully. Going by personal experience, when people come to the SSB or to the coaching institute, they ask the next person also, "Bhai, tu kya likhna hai?" And whatever he is writing, they also tend to write down. That is number one. Number two, people are under the misconception that if you write 10 activities, then you have no chance of being recommended. That again is a false presumption. You should be only putting those things which you have actually performed or experienced, and also you have knowledge about. So whatever you write, you should be knowledgeable about that, and also you should not forget to mention those things which you have written at the appropriate time, whether it is your hobby or it is your position of responsibility. Anything which you have written, you should be bringing it out at the appropriate time. So once you go to the SSB, there will be a thorough briefing on how this PIQ is to be filled. Listen to the briefing carefully, fill it neatly. No overwriting, no cuts. Okay, avoid all those things, because when it goes to the site or the interviewing officer, it's like a first thing how nicely it is done. So before the candidate comes, we will go through this and make a mental picture of the type of person who's coming. As far as before the entry, dress up soberly and formally. If you want to put on a tie, it's your prerogative. But if you wear a tie, make sure your top button is intact and you fix the tie right up to your. I saw somewhere the other day somebody came with 2 inches below, hanging. It looks like in the picture the hero walks into the bar, So not that tie, it should be presentable. So make sure that you are there. Shave, of course, you should go shave if you are like this, but if you are already sporting a beard, all these things do not make much of a difference, but one would like to see a presentable person who is becoming an officer. Before you enter, you are waiting outside, sitting there are people going before you. So first thing is, when somebody comes out, do not ask, kya pucha. He may not ask you the same question, 1. 2, the answer to the same question would have different inference from your perspective and his perspective. So you just relax. Whatever you have written, revise mentally, keep relaxing, keep taking deep breaths. Once your turn comes, gently knock, may I come and serve, and walk in with a little bit of smile, go right up till your chair and stand by the side or in front, doesn't matter, but make sure you wish correctly as per time of the day. That the first time you're going to say something, don't make it wrong. If it's good morning, it's good morning. If it's good afternoon, it's good afternoon. Some of the interviewing officers have a habit of shaking hands. If that be so, he would be extending his hand, in which case you walk up, and if you're shaking hands, give a little firm handshake. If not, he will ask you to sit down, say thank you, and sit down. When you sit, keep your back straight, don't crouch, move towards the back of the chair, and see that you maintain eye contact. Arms you feel wherever comfortable to them in that position, on the arms of the chair or on your lap or crossed and whatever you feel. Basic thing is to make yourself comfortable. The important thing here is that you must maintain eye contact. That is the first important thing. The second important thing is that you are sitting pretty far off. Therefore, you should speak loudly. Otherwise, you're not audible and the last part of your conversation gets
Like Vedic,
eaten
थोड़ा
up.
जोर से बोला कर, ठीक है?
So you should be speaking a little louder.
ये चीज आएगी.
And do not keep your tone flat. Wherever emphasis is required, raise your volume and drop accordingly. Do not speak in a flat tone. Be buoyant. Okay, neither the fan is going to fall on your head or neither the roof. The worst case scenario is that you may not be recommended. That's the last. Don't think about that. Your aim is to go and do your best, because this is based on demonstrative performance. Even when you go to an exam, once you go inside, you see the question paper, you write your answers, you come out. After coming out, if you say, "Arey, yaar, this was very easy, I could have answered," it has no meaning. Because when you submitted your paper, that is what you are going to be assessed on. Same goes for the interview. Whatever demonstrated performance you show inside, that is going to be your assessment. Now, the questions are going to be clubbed, what you call the CIQs. It means 4, 5, 6 questions will be clubbed. Now, once they are clubbed, then what we have to do? First, listen carefully. Don't be in a rush. Listen carefully. Second, you have to remember. You have to remember the questions. And most importantly, you have to answer this one. If you can answer in the same sequence, excellent. If you can't, doesn't matter. As long as you can answer the question, it's fine. Avoid being reminded, especially in the beginning when your mind is fresh. Avoid being reminded. But should you miss out, then you can correctly answer. I think I missed out one question. Can you kindly repeat? Okay. Now the next important issue is that you should be giving details. Okay, a lot of questions will have why, give reasons suffixed. Even if not, you give the reasons best to your knowledge. But the reasons have to be relevant to the question asked. No nonsense in getting verbose. And a thing which you can answer in, say, 5 sentences, don't try to make it into 15 sentences. Be crisp. It is a test of your thought process. And since we cannot look inside your brain, your thought is going to come out in the form of words. Whatever you speak is going to be presumed is what you are thinking. Now, if you are fluent in communication, no issues. Should, however, you get stuck at any stage, not getting the right sentence or the right word in English, please do not hesitate to speak in Hindi. Get over and continue. Don't stress your mind thinking about sentences and words and spoiling your performance. In between, speaking in Hindi is nothing negative. You can go through. Do not tell lies. If you don't know something, gracefully acknowledge it But every time you can't say, I'm sorry sir, I'll update or I'll make myself aware. Where you are genuinely stuck, you should be acknowledging it, and once you go out, update yourself on questions which you didn't answer. Okay, sometimes what happens that when you go to the final interview and you are under consideration, you may be asked the same questions which you didn't answer. And if you can answer them and answer them well, your chances of getting recommended increase. So make sure that is done. So like I said, don't tell lies because you will get into further knots. If the interviewing officer has a little bit of apprehension you are telling lies, he will keep cross-questioning you and you will get into all sort of difficulties. So these are some of the important do's and don'ts. There's nothing there. The main thing is be natural. Answer as per your personal experience and your personal knowledge. And of course, once you are applying for some service, you should be well aware of the service you have applied for. Because any job you do, you should be aware. Same goes for any sports or anything, at least you should have the basic knowledge. And same goes for being aware generally about what's happening around in the country and the world. Once again, not asking people, know YouTube, read a newspaper, read in detail, try to understand, pick up some topics, and even when you answer in detail. Okay, so just to give a headline does not mean anything. Similarly, during the interview, if there are any commonalities or there are similarities, just saying similarities has no meaning unless you amplify. So from your perspective, your aim should be to make it as much as clear as possible. And the last point is, do not make it into a question and answer session. Since these 4 or 5 questions are clubbed, if you keep answering, an interviewing officer keeps listening, that's the best thing. So even if it is something around 30, 70, it is a good interview. So most of the talking should be done by the candidate and based on his response as and when the questions come. The candidate, when he enters, definitely there is a certain amount of nervousness. So it is the responsibility of the interviewing officer to try and make the candidate comfortable. How will he do that? He will not start with the interview per se, but he will ask him something with which the candidate is familiar. Okay, how did you prepare? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about the place you come from. Tell me about your journey. What did you do since the time you got your call for SSB? So these are some of the questions which are, or if somebody has got NCC, you can start with NCC. How did you start with NCC? What is their motto? So basic thing is that it is something with which you are familiar. Now here what happens, you start talking, you are apprehensive, what is going to be, what is going to happen. And here you find something which is something quite familiar. So you should start speaking. Now once you start speaking, the interviewing officer will normally nod it. He'll keep nodding, okay, nice, good. So you are hearing your words and your confidence level is going. So the interviewing officer, this is like a first impression. Okay, if I ask you about your place, where you belong, and if you don't know anything about that, then there's something wrong. If you are presenting and you go in an organized way, how much details you know and how organized is your presentation. So this all makes a first impression. So after a certain time, when the interviewing officer so feels that now the candidate is comfortable or finds that he's getting stressed, he's not aware and able to answer, there's no point delaying, then the interview process starts. Okay? So
Yes, sir.
with that, we finish and then we start. So Dhruv, I see you been in Jaipur and also in Devla and Nasik, and also you belong to Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Where are you coming from now?
So right now I'm coming from Jaipur because currently my dad has been posted in the Southern Western Command. So that's where I'm currently residing in, and also I'm doing my college from the same place at the outskirts of Jaipur, which is Madhya University.
How long have you been in Jaipur?
So about 4 years. This is my 4th year. I am in my 7th
So
year.
that I'm sure that you must be knowing all the ins and outs. Let's hear about Jaipur.
So Jaipur is the fifth place which has been rewarded the most famous and the most beautiful city to be visiting by the UNESCO ranking. Also, it is a city which is also called the Pink City, and that was which was painted by Sawar Man Singh II when the Prince of Wales was about to come in 1876. Also, it has a lot of beautiful forts, like Nahargarh Fort, the Amer Fort, and like I said, we also have a headquarters of the Indian Army, which is the Southern Western Command here, and that's about it. Sir.
What is it famous for?
So it's mostly famous for the forts and for all the mahals which have been constructed uh, because it was a site which was famous for all the rulers of modern time, and they used to reside there a lot, and they had built a lot of mahals and forts for themselves, either for luxurious purpose or for a defensive purpose.
Okay, you're talking only about
altitude.
somebody told me it's very famous for gems and also for block printed clothes and bed sheets and dal bati churma
Right,
and
sir, right.
that.
I'm
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I forgot that. It's obviously when we are talking about Jaipur, the culture rolls in, and the Marwadi culture has a lot of diversification. As when the Sawan Mansingh, the ruler, took the throne, he encouraged a lot of artisans to come from various parts of Rajasthan to come to Jaipur and practice their art there and perform their art there, so that it could be more popularized and it could be aware of, and it could shine the Marwadi culture even more. We have a lot of block printing, like you said. We have a lot of recently in the news, a lot of gold has also been found in Jaipur, and I think that is also enriching the
Okay,
quality.
good. So, Dhruv, we will now talk about your education and we will start from class 10 onwards. The overall percentage of marks you scored in each class up till now. So far in your career, what has been your most favorite or liked subject? And there would be reasons for that. Who's been your most admired or favorite teacher up till now? Once again, there would be reasons for the likes. Then we talk about your friend circle, how friendly are you, how big is it? And amongst them, somebody would be your best friend. What is the reason for liking him or her? And then about the extracurricular activities you participated, the positions of responsibility you held, and if there was a subject where you were not so much interested and a teacher perhaps didn't impress you as much, details of those.
Thank you. So I starting from my subjects and from my matriculation, I have scored a little shy of 80%, which is 78% in my 10th in ICSE boards from, and I did that in the Bishop School, Pune. Following that, I scored 88% in my 12th from the Army Public School, Devlali, in 12th, and my favorite subject has always been math because I really am. I've always been good with numbers, and I've always thought that it is a very crucial skill that you need to have because math is the study of numbers and the numerology, and it is a very required skill that we need to use in our daily and basic world. And I have I have my favorite teacher and my most beloved teacher who was my ninth and 10th math teacher only in Pune, and his name is Norman Roderick. I'm still in touch with him. He was the middle school coordinator back then, and now he has become the headmaster of the school. And we have always been in touch. He always tells me about where he is going for holidays or anything. And I really liked him because he was very approachable. He always, because whenever I started my ninth or 10th, I wasn't very good in my academics. But in math, I was always a very diligent student. But whenever I couldn't perform well, he never pushed me away, or he always listened to me, and he always made me feel acknowledged and heard. And there was also a subject which was history, because I am not very good with the memorizing, and I am not, and there was also a lot of majorly I never liked history because it was a part of a memorizing tool, and I have never really scored well in that either. And there was no really subject teacher because of who I never really liked history. I always had good teachers for my social sciences, but it's just that I never really, it was never really my cup of tea. And except that I believe that I have a very good circle of friends because because due to my dad being in the army, we have traveled a lot, and I have always never hesitated to make new friends. Though it is a little harsh to leave the friends behind, but I have always been happy in making new friends. Currently I have a good group of friends in my college who mostly are army people's kids only, but we also have a lot of other civilians also. But it's just that we have always had a good chemistry, and we have always had a bonding on having the fact that okay, he was in a different station at the same time, and that's how we got along. Also, my best friend is Akshat, because he has always been kind to me whenever I have anything happened in my life which is a little interesting. He's the first person who I always call and I always tell. In fact, this shirt is even his, and he's a person who always has my back, and I can always approach him for any particular thing. And a thing that I think is not very appealing about him would be that he is a person who doesn't really think about, or he doesn't really put an effort towards his fitness and his physical health. So I have always encouraged him to do so, and he is always a last minute person. So I've always told him to be a little more organized and a little more disciplined towards that. But in the end, there are a lot of good things about him which dominate the cons in him. So I really admire that about him. If there's anything else, we could remind it.
Extracurricular activities and position of responsibility.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So extracurricular activities, I did a lot of theatre in my starting years. Right now, I am also a little mentor in my small community of theatrical artists. We perform. We used to perform a lot of stage plays and a lot of speech plays, in which I used to help in either writing or either performing. And except that I practice. I practice guitar a lot, and whenever I get my time for sports and games, I play a lot of football, and I practice a lot of calisthenics. Also, whenever I get time, I always go for a little longer than 10-kilometer runs, so that I'm in a good shape, and also that I have always really liked running. And except that, I play a lot of chess. That is something that I really like, because that is something that is a common thing in between all of my friends, because we all like chess a lot, and we all keep testing each other's skills on the level of chess. And in my position of responsibilities, I have been the captain of my football team when we went for the nationals when I was in my 10th, and we came second in that. Also after that, I couldn't really play football for a long time because I had an injury in my knee. But after that, I picked up football again, and now I am playing in my inter-university cup. Also, in 10th only, I was my school prefect, and I was elected by my teachers as a administrating or a authoritative position, in which I used to manage kids a lot. So, in terms of discipline or in terms of any request that was made by people, that's what it was.
What is this authoritative position known as?
So we were known as school prefects only.
School prefects. So why do you
Yes,
think
sir.
you got this appointment?
So I believe I got this because even though I wasn't a very good performer in my academics, I knew that I was sincere. I wasn't rude